you know?
Yeah.
So, like,
That's how you get really good. That's how you get experience, right?
yeah. But also, that also tells you, like, what was the level of addiction? Like, like, let's not stick to one event over the weekend. Let's do two events, and
Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, I feel like they gave me like such a big confidence boost when I was like walking into my black belt level, and also such a good experience, amount of experience, because you're like, well, sometimes you're gonna be like at the local tournament and you're gonna fight people who are not that good, but you can still like get confidence in your moves by applying them. And then you go to like big stage and you fight those good guys, because they're every like IBJJF Open, Europeans, and worlds. You have those people who are like, they're traveling all over the world competing already, like being a color belts, right? So you're like meeting these people here and there, and exchanging losses and victories with them, and just building up the experience and skill for the black belt, because as a competitor, that's the ultimate goal. You want to get to a black belt, and you want to get there like not burned out and injured. You want to get there healthy, confident, skillful, and you want to start winning that. So yeah.
Yeah. What was like the breakthrough for you, competing wise? When you're like, man, I can really do this.
I had a couple breakthroughs in my career. I feel like for me, the thing that was working well always was like going through stages, like climbing stairs. So I never did like uh, too big of a step. I was always stepping like one step at the time. So uh, my first kind of like breakthrough was when I won my Polish national title for the first time, and right after that I got promoted to brown belt, and then I won Europeans. So that was like the second, like one after another, because that gave me a confidence, like, oh, I can be very good at the Polish level, and then right away, uh, I got that confidence that I can be good at European level. And then, like I said, I was competing a lot, and then finally I was able to win some medals at like outside of Europe, and I'm like, all right, I can.
Which were some of the places you went to? Abu Dhabi, right? You
Yeah,
said?
yeah, yeah. Mostly it was U.S. and Abu Dhabi. I started to go to Brazil when I was black belt as well, fighting there. But yeah, like it started with Abu Dhabi and U.S. and placing here and there, like gave me a confidence that, oh, I can stick with those guys. And I got my black belt, and I was medaling, like I told you before, almost everywhere, but not worlds. And like it builds you up, kind
Interesting.
of
Yeah.
like gives you that this thought, like, oh, you can do well amongst those black belts. So just keep trying, And I think the biggest breakthrough was in 2019. Um, that was the year where when my wife she got pregnant, and we were waiting for our son, and then I had that conclusion that, you know what, it's like it's time to focus on important things, so let's put all my energy into things I value the most, which is going to be my family that I'm just creating right now, and jujitsu, and let's not sidetrack that energy anywhere else, and let's see what's gonna happen. And from that year, I started to win like big titles on black belt. I won. It started with no gi worlds, and then followed by Europeans, World Pro, and Then after that whole like pandemic time, I was able to capture a couple more leading to my world title this year. So this was like the big thing, like realization that your energy is not like you don't have like infinite source of energy.
Dispersed, right? Spread out too much.
Yeah, exactly. You have to channel
So you
your
focus you
energy.
focus on like maybe like the big tournaments, the ones that are most valuable. Is that
I mean, focus more on the like just jujitsu and family and
nothing
not
else?
nothing else. Yeah, because this is like at the end of the day, this is what matters to me, and yeah, like when you realize that you're like, especially like young people, they think like they have energy for everything, so they can go party, they can do this and that, and they can still train and they can still win tournaments. And when you're like young and full of life and very vital, you think it works that way, but in reality it's not. And you see so many young people getting burned out and sidetracked because of that, because of their spending energy in the areas that they shouldn't. It's not the most beneficial for them. But sometimes when you're young, it's hard to realize that, because like you think you got so much time
Yeah.
and so much opportunities ahead of you, but the time's passing fast. So I feel like the sooner you realize that you really need to channel your focus to achieve something, the better. And it came to me like when I was like 28, 29.
When you're gonna have your
Yeah,
son.
yeah. So I wasn't the youngest when I get that when I realized that, but young enough to still achieve.
When you were, the beginning in your 20s, right? You're competing. What did your parents think? Did they want you to go a different way, or jujitsu's?
Oh yeah,
They don't
oh
know
yeah, oh yeah,
what that means, right? Even.
yeah. Coming up from like a traditional family where like everybody has like a regular job, and then you're this black sheep of a family coming up with the idea that you're gonna be a jujitsu athlete. Like, wait a minute, it's not even a real sport. It's like it's not Olympic sport. Where did you get that from? Like, how can you even live with that? And yeah, my parents were not very happy with my life choice, but I was still studying, so I kept that second
You were still
option.
in university a little bit.
Yeah. So yeah, and I graduated,
Okay.
and so I graduated in chemical engineering, and when I was studying, I already knew that I'm not gonna do anything with that. But it just sometimes it's just good to have a paper.
Sure.
Sometimes it's just good to have like a second option in case something happens.
And keep your
And
parents happy too, huh?
yeah, exactly, and keep your parents happy, and maybe not even happy, but at least they feel like there is a second option for you when something goes wrong. But like the time was passing, and I was doing pretty
So
well.
maybe it was more for them more than you because you already knew what you were gonna do. You knew the path you were
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
take.
yeah, kinda. But like studying didn't take away my focus and didn't take away much time. So I'm like, all right, I can totally connect these two, and I can graduate, and I can still train like 2 times a day. So that's okay. I'm gonna be fine here. Yeah, and like when I was like approaching the time when I'll graduate, I started like earn through jiu-jitsu pretty well, like enough to like have a pretty good life in Poland, and so that gave me a confidence. Like, all right, if we do good now, probably we can do even better